Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, it's another day here. Saturday, August, I don't know, 16th, 17th, I think. I'm trying to pull a service truck down here. I'm behind as usual on videos and farming. Yeah, we're waiting until the last minute to get Glenda situated. So, got to do a little bit of work this morning on her, get some sprockets and some figuring done, and then we're going to move on. I'm going to try to get my trailer moved around. I'll explain a little bit of that. I might actually add some footage on that was several weeks old where we started moving a couple of things for the other storage trailer. I don't know, I can't keep my video situation going in line anymore, but let's get to work. Quit talking. All right, we're not gonna get too elaborate here. Pulled the slip clutch mechanism apart, and I gotta get a call into Oakley's and see if I can get another one of these so I can keep it original with a grain head. But we basically flipped it around, a longer bolt here, but I've got to find a bigger sprocket. But it's working in my favor in a sense, because I thought that the sprocket was spline, but it's not. So it'll be a lot easier to come up with. I got to do some figuring because I've got to change that over to I think it's number 60 chain, yeah, because that's what those run. So we got one that's going to run back to the drive, and then that of course up to the feeder beater, and I'll have to add my pulleys. It's just what I'm having to do with the Gleaner with that adapter plate on there. But got everything oiling up on the chain, so I'm going to make some phone calls on the pulley, on the sprocket rather, and see what we can come up with there and keep you guys informed. And I got an idea about the chopper, and I'm not sure that which route I'm going to go yet, but we'll talk more about that when the time comes. But not sure what I'll get into now. I need to move some of these trailers around and get a few things situated, so no telling what you're going to see here on this video. Well, on the road again. I'm going to head down to Oakley's Combine Service in Oxford, North Carolina. I've been there before. I'll throw a card up in the corner video there. Me and Dylan went, waiting on my buddy to get here. Got to see if I can round up some drive sprockets and a few miscellaneous pieces to get Glenda switched over to the corn head. So saw a little bit of that in the beginning of the video, me pulling the slip clutch apart. So we'll see what we can do as far as footage, and keep you updated. Let's hit the road. Well, we're back in heaven again here at Oakley's Combine Service. Just talked to Mr. Forrest, Oakley. Asked if I could come out here and look around a couple things, get some measurements on these sprockets, and see. I got to get one off the corn head that I used, like I said earlier. I think I did anyway. But I'm gonna go out here and look at some of the older A2s on the back row and see if I can find anything that corresponds with the right shaft size and something close on the tooth count. So bring you back in a few. Just mountains and mountains of goodies. I got a little bit more time today, so we're digging. A lot of good parts here. A lot of stuff that nobody's using anymore, like these older machines, but yeah, it's nice to come to one place and be able to get everything. So let's see if I can climb up here on that without breaking my neck. See a couple things up towards the top there. I've been in a couple ant piles this morning. I'll watch those. I'll bring you back. Well, we made it back from Oakley's. Actually stopped and looked at something on the way back. We're not going to get into that right now. I'll tell you more about it later if it pans out. But got to talk quite extensively today with Mr. Forrest Oakley and Gabe, and really enjoyed that trip. Got to rummage around in the used parts more so than I did last time, and here's some of the selection of what we got, some used, some new. But hopefully you enjoyed the pan around there of more of the yard and the newer series. They've got so many of the R series combines in the shed there. I think Gabe just got back from delivering one to Maryland and picking one up. So if any of you guys are needing anything, parts, sales, service, whatever for the Gleaner combines, give them a call. Oxford, North Carolina. I'll put their telephone number up here. They ship stuff out. Probably hook you up and help you with any kind of information you need. I was in there and heard Mr. Oakley on the phone with somebody, and he gave them exactly the information they need in just a matter of minutes. So anyway, let me go over what we got here, and I'll take you down here and show you why on the combine right quick, and then hopefully we'll get back to work on this one. All right, so if this makes sense, this is the slip clutch that goes on my A2. This is the original one we took apart, and here's one I actually found today. It's a little different on the A and A2 because the feeder beater drives off of the left-hand side of the combine instead of the right-hand side, like I see the K's and stuff like that. And this slip clutch is quite different than anything else I found, so I did look up and find one of those. This is the original sprocket that goes with that setup. You got your clutches, I guess, here. They go down in there, and then this, of course, sits on top of that. As you can see that there together, and I'll explain what we're doing there in a minute. I just picked up these miscellaneous. This is actually a wheat pulley for the combine. I'm not sure that fits in there perfect. This is the right tooth count for something I'm needing later on. Just picked up a miscellaneous block and found this pulley in pretty good shape. Mine's got a little bit of wear on it. Hurt to have an extra one. And then we got 3 concave bars there. Those are actually for F. I'm going to cut them down, re-drill the holes. Mine has half round concaves in it. Mixed emotions on that throughout forums and people I've talked to about different things. So I've got those to set up a different set for different grains if that's what we end up doing. But time will tell. I wanted to pick those up while I was there. And also these smooth chain idlers. They had those brand new on the shelf. And I've got the other pulley that came off the head down here. I'll go down there and show you what we're talking about a little bit on the drive system. Hopefully it'll make more sense. All right, here's the other sprocket that I needed. When I made the grain head drive system at the last minute, I realized I needed a sprocket with number 50 chain, not number 60, because of my feeder beater. So I went around, this head was back there. Of course, we're not worried about harvesting corn back when we were doing the wheat. So yeah, it got taken off. And I thought, no problem at all, I'll pick one up at Oakley as well. Ironically, they don't have any of these heads in the salvage line. The 2-row, got plenty of 3-row, 4-row, 5-row, 6-row, however many rows you want to say, but naturally none of the 2 rows. They have 2 or 3 of them complete, but of course you don't pull parts off of those. So we rummaged through the piles and I found several of these gears, the right tooth count, but it was 1.25 inch shaft, again where the machinist stuff would be nice. But took Gabe out, showed him what I needed. He got in the book for a few minutes, went right over the shelf and pulled this one off, and we have now the sprocket that I need for the corn header. So always make sure the availability is there beforehand, which I did not do. Well, just bear with me all the babbling. I have to explain this stuff so it makes sense what I'm doing. The drive sprockets on this black frame 2-row header are both number 60 chain. Back here is the drive for the header itself, number 60. Up here, the feeder beater we just talked about was number 50. That's the whole reason of the sprocket I just showed you. So what I needed to do, I thought the easiest would do is to find a number 60 series sprocket over here. I went ahead and ordered this offline. I found it cheap. I'm glad I did because I was unable to come up with the exact dimensions. Got close, but the tooth count was off. in the parts yard today. So what we're going to do, hopefully, is I'm going to drill some holes in this and space this correctly, put the slip clutch on, and bolt everything up, and it should be pretty much the same as the original. Then when I get ready to do grain, I can just unbolt this, slide this whole assembly off, slide the other slip clutch on with a number 50 sprocket, and we don't have to do a whole bunch of tearing apart, just basically one swap here and take the chains off. So that's what we're after. And one of my pulleys, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use a pulley or a wood block there, but so I picked those up. So now I got to get started trying to coerce my buddy into doing some precise measuring here and getting these holes marked so we can drill this. I don't have to go down, but maybe 3/8 of an inch for those dowel pins to stick in. So now that we're back in the shop, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, I showed you this a while ago, I think, but here's the clutch mechanism. So you see the 3 dowels on that. So we're going to center that up, get them drilled in there, and then of course everything else will basically bolt back up exactly like it did before, and we'll have this complete unit for the corn head, and then I'll clean this one up and oil it and everything, get it pulled off, and we'll have this complete unit for the grain head. And this will be extra. It's the same sprocket right there. I didn't know if I would luck up and find one of these, but we did. So that's the score for today. All right, well, it's been quite a few days since we did any filming. Overlooked the shoe wear today, if you see that in the video. Gonna try to get Glenda cranked up, get the head picked up. I'm situated on blocks, and get to where I can get the guards off of and continue to oil the chains and get these sprockets set up like I showed you earlier in the video. And then we'll probably just call this one good, and we'll start over with why not? As soon as I turn the camera on after not being here for a week. All right, let's get started. I'll tell you more about the plans here in a minute. Come on, get out of the way. Like a little kid, you know that? You really are. Do you mind? Don't worry, he hasn't moved. He's right here behind me. They are smart. Not being here for a week, I guess he's making up for it, huh? close call. I got one in the cab with me a while ago. I thought it was in there, but right under the door. We'll get him. Well, we got it blocked up safe now. Can get under here and work. The old corn head has been out of the field for many a year, in really good shape, just been sitting. So gotta get everything oiled up. I can get to the chains under here now. That slip clutch I think is a little weak, because this chain over here is locked up, so it's slipping versus trying to get it to turn, so I can get on the shaft better now. We've got to change the sprocket over here, the cylinder sprocket, and put the one on for corn, smaller. I think it's smaller, yeah, don't quote me on that. I've got it marked, we'll put it that way. And I think we'll be able to get to our drive system over here pretty easy. I told you about that in the beginning of the video. Move that sprocket set over, get my new slip clutch made, put a piece of sheet metal in there, and we're going to lower the rock door and check the clearance on the cylinder itself. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with the concaves. I'm gonna change them, leave them. I've got to make sure the positions are right, and we'll be good to go. The old girl's gonna get a workout for sure, because me and my brainchild ideas this year, no cultivation and conventional corn, it's weedy like we've talked about. This one middle field down here is I'm gonna say 65% loss, probably due to the weeds. But we're gonna see what happens. I got a few tricks up under my sleeve, and one thing's for sure, I think Glenda will earn her keep, no joke at all. But let me get turned around here, and we'll probably just call this one good, and get started on the next round of projects for corn harvest. All right guys, we're gonna call it good on this one. I know it wasn't a whole lot. Good trip to Oakley's, dealing with those guys again. Got all the parts I needed for Glenda, got a few things rounded up. I know the direction I need to go now. Definitely stay tuned over the next couple of months for some wild videos. Maybe not months, but weeks anyway. I'm going to go about this harvesting probably the most unconventional method ever, as far as storage of the corn, transportation. I'm just going to try to use all the parts and pieces I already have to make something work with my corn sales this year. So got a lot of issues with weeds like we talked about. Not sure how good the end outcome will be, but we're going to give it the best shot we can, pencil down our mistakes, and go after it again next year. So hopefully you enjoy it, but we'll get ramped up a lot more on actually doing some work instead of me talking so much. So hang in there if you would. Don't forget to check out farmmerchbin.com if you're interested in any hats like these, shirts, decals, keychains, koozies, you name it, they've got it. Nikki and Allison, they're amazing people. They do work for a lot of great channels here on YouTube. I should have them all memorized to do the plug, but I don't. I do apologize for that, but I'll put a link in the description, which is right underneath the title of the video. A lot of times it'll say more. Just click on it and it'll give you the link to farmmerchbin.com. Go over there and check them out. Tell them Nelson IP Farm sent you. See what happens over the next couple of days, guys. Stay tuned. It's getting ramped up for sure for corn harvest. Till next time, thank you.